Hey everyone, welcome to Real Knowledge Club Summit. Akshay Rashekaran here. Today we have a truly a fascinating guest who is none other than Rehan Allahwala. He's an uncrowned king of social media in Pakistan and is one of the most influential leaders, right? Who has a lot of connection with the top people in Pakistan and around the world, right? He's an entrepreneur, president of multiple companies, not just one, dozens of companies, and which is giving services to people across the globe, right? Including countries like United States, Malaysia, Singapore, Europe, and Pakistan. He runs a full Institute of Peace organization, and his foundation wants to help 100,000 people with better jobs and how they can make every month 500 to $1,000 a month through freelancing and making a huge impact. His mission is to eradicate poverty and make a world a better place to live. His integrity, transparency inspires us. I had met him in NAS Summit in Dubai, one of the world's biggest creator summit. I was fascinated by his energy. Without any further delay, let's welcome Rehan Allahwala to Real Knowledge Club Summit. Welcome, brother.
Thank you for inviting Akshay.
Yes, it's a great honor to have you here with us, spending your super valuable time. Thank you so much. Yes, yeah, and yeah, Rihan, I saw you have the big mission, right? You want to help so many people in Pakistan, right? And you want to make it the number one country when it comes down to freelancers, right? How did you get that vision and that mission of helping so many people?
So, Akshay, my goal is to eradicate poverty from the planet Earth, not just from Pakistan. And 100,000 people, in Pakistan, it's a 250 million people country. So it's not a big number. I um, I came up with that idea because somebody asked me 12 years ago, "What is your life's goal?" And I said, "I don't have a goal. Most of the people don't have a goal, and because I've already achieved a lot by that time." So I didn't really have a goal. So she said, "Well, if God calls you, then what would you ask for?" So I said, "Okay, well, then we should end poverty, because if people have money, they can buy good education, they can buy comfort, they can, move about to the planet, and then they can raise their consciousness level, because they can, as Maslow's hierarchy of need explains us, that we have to cross certain levels before we can reach the peace, reach the creativity, reach the mindset of abundance." So I started working on that. And I was a connector from a very early age. I was connecting people together so they can co-create better businesses, better ventures. And when Facebook came, I did it more and more. And now I spend many, many hours a day, 12 to 16 hours a day on Facebook for the last 16 years, connecting people and empowering them, helping them grow together. Um, that's kind of what I do. And I act as a catalyst for change. So I found out after running 150 businesses that I'm not very good at it, but I am good with ideas. I'm good with connecting people. So I focus now on that part of the world. I don't work anymore. I have not worked for 12 years. I work full time on this. I don't act as a CEO anymore of any of my companies. I closed most of them down and just focus, keep one or two. And now I have started a school, which is creating, at a high school level, we are teaching people, kids, students like yourself, when you were younger, how to create $500 a month while you are at school. And then we have a digital earning center where we also teach people how to use mobile phone and computers to make a better living for yourself.
Absolutely, that's super amazing. And I saw when I was seeing your interviews, you had that passion and drive all from early childhood, right? When you were 12, 15 years, you had computers and the love for the technology. Then you came into telecom and software and right now freelancing, helping so many people, right? What have you seen in terms of marketing and how have things evolved in last 30 years?
The world has totally changed. Even if we think of this month alone, when ChatGPT came from GPT-3 and OpenAI, the world has changed. The knowledge is no longer relevant. Information is no longer relevant. Thinking to most extent is no longer relevant because most of the people's IQ is low, and now you can just ask ChatGPT to make a business plan for you, make forms for you, make a strategy for you. What is the action plan for you? Anything you can think of, you can just ask ChatGPT, and it can actually give you a plan. The problem is talk is cheap. It's more of a time of doing, and I think now the planet has more equal opportunity to finally get rid of the first world countries, the third world countries, and become finally equal world countries and earthlings rather than Americans or Indians or Pakistanis or whatever. So I think now is a phenomenal time for humanity. Internet came 20, 30 years ago, and it has allowed us to connect with each other, but we still don't use it to connect it with each other. Majority of the people don't really understand the power of the internet. Majority of the people don't understand that we don't really need school, colleges, and universities to get information. Majority don't understand that we are now more powerful than the United States president 20 years ago. And after
Absolutely.
GPT-3, we are as equal as the president of the United States. Maybe not Elon Musk because he has the back door, but everybody else is as equal as anybody else. So we live in a phenomenal time where we can really disrupt. But the thing is that unfortunately, we live in the past. We are unable to get rid of our cultural norms. We are unable to break out from our cultural norms. And I think that's where we need to build and focus on is to build social intelligence, communication intelligence, how to live as a human being on a global planet is the biggest challenge which humanity has right now because humans spend $2,000 billion a year on arms. That's a lot of money. And if we had only $80 billion, we can eradicate total
Poverty.
everybody on earth can no not poverty but hunger,
Yes.
but and for $80 billion a year, and we spend $2,000 billion a year on arms, and that's a lot of money. So we need to rethink, and unfortunately, our leaders, our politicians have not been educated with the power of the internet. They ask someone else to do it for them, so they don't really experience it. But I'm very hopeful for people like yourself who are phenomenal, who are, I can see uh, you and RJ Ahmed are the future billionaires, are the future change makers because you have the right mindset. You're not wasting your time like I am on helping people earn $500. You're focused on your $1 billion, and you will end up getting it. And you're focused on a larger impact in a different way, the different strategy. My interest is in the very poor people who nobody wants to help or they don't really understand basic technologies. So I gave up on the hope of becoming multi-billionaire myself, but I focus on the very, very basics now. And I want to use the power of the smartphone and the internet to disrupt this, poverty. I think we are poor for absolutely no reason. We're just stupidly poor because our ancestors were poor. We don't understand what is abundance. So because we don't understand abundance, we don't work for it. Because we don't work for it, we don't get it. And it's a paradigm shift which people should adapt. And I keep on doing my small little 2 cents worth of work for making that happen.
Absolutely. That was incredible. Like taking action is the most important thing. And what is the roadmap or like game plan which you want to tell to all the freelancers who wants to build an great empire online if they have to go to like zero to like making their first $1 million, right? Like if you were to tell like step one, two, three, four, five, what will that be and how to go about with that?
I think step one is for sure mindset. until and unless you believe that you can achieve something, you cannot achieve it. So I would strong recommend everybody to read the book Think and Grow Rich. The line number one says, anybody who can think, imagine, or and believe anything they want, they can achieve. And education and knowledge has nothing to do with it. This is a 120-year-old book. A guy, Napoleon Hill, saying that when there was no internet, there was nothing, and he was still talking about the power of belief, what it can achieve. So the first step is basically belief. And how do you change your belief? Is you change my philosophy is you change your friends. Once you change your friends, you upgrade your friend list. You will start having a news feed from, like, for example, if they were to follow you, you don't even talk to any Tom, Dick, or Harry. You're like directly going to the trillionaires and billionaires. You're not even trying to go to the bottom side. So your mindset will automatically shift. That is why I predict that you will for sure be billionaires, because all your friends will push you to become one. And basically, if you do these two things, you just change your friend list, and then they will change your mindset. And once your mindset is changed, you will automatically be on a habit of earning more money. That's what I basically teach. I've been teaching this for 10, 15 years, and I have to somehow mask it, because human brain does not like change. Human brain does not want to be changed. So human brain wants instant gratification. Human brain wants some dollar value. That's why I say, okay, learn to earn at least $500 a month. That's I don't. It's a disguise basically to help you come out of your shell, to change your mindset, and then you can choose to become a millionaire, a billionaire, a trillionaire, whatever you want. The school we have created is for high schools, for seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th graders. And in this school, we have every single student assign themselves a problem of the world, a big problem of the world. And they have to then watch a TED talk on that subject every day, and then they have to create a TED talk of their own in English and in their mother tongue. And then they have to tag the person who originally gave the TED talk on all social media. So imagine a young person making 1,200 videos on a particular subject, be it water, electricity, solar energy. They would be the most connected person on the planet on that subject. They would be they would create the most content on that subject. They will do most experiment on that subject. So even those people who have a PhD, they are living in their shell. They don't really take advantage of what you are doing, for example, of taking advantage of social media, imagining that there is no boundary. You can talk to anyone, and you can actually do one-on-one conversation. And then once they have done 500 videos, we encourage them to actually interview these top-notch leaders, just like you are doing, in their space. So imagine a young child making talk, once a day with a top leader of the planet on that subject. They will become phenomenal leaders. That's what our goal is to with these kids. And because these are young kids, they don't have to worry about money. They don't have to worry about child support or a marriage or something. They focus more. And the second thing which we teach in this school is again basic freelancing, so that they can earn $500 a month. Their parents don't even earn $500 a month. It's a poor area where we created the school. So we're helping these kids to become earn at least $500 a month. And as you know, the per capita income of Pakistan is only $100 a month. So these kids will make 5 times more money than an average Pakistani, and they will only work for 2 hours to achieve that money. And then in the rest of 2 hours, they would become themselves phenomenal, like Akshay is becoming. And then the rest of the 20 hours, they can do whatever they want. So this is our formula. We are trying to do this where we can give a model school to the world where, especially the third world countries where schooling is a problem. India, Pakistan, 50% of the people, of the youth cannot, it does not go to school, but they want to earn money. So here's a formula where they actually make money, they become phenomenal, and they actually get educated in a very interesting way.
Absolutely. That was incredible. You mean school means is it offline or like online? Like how does it work?
It's a physical school. It's like a regular school you go to or you went to. It starts at 7:45 in the morning. It ends at 2 p.m. It's like a regular school. You have normal classes, but on top of that, we have studios in the school. We have a large computer lab. Everybody gets a smartphone. Everybody gets a laptop. Instead of taking it away, we give it to them. We're putting an Alexa in every room, touchscreen computers on the screen, so you can actually do interaction with the students from other parts of the world. Totally immersive experience for these kids as much as we can. It's a very small school in terms of population. Right now, it's only 100 students. It's a large campus. We have an auditorium, 24 other rooms. We have a large space, but it's only a few months that we started properly. It's been 1 year trying to get the mindset of the principal, trying to get the mindset of the teacher, of the student, of the parents. They're all like, "What are you doing? How am I? Why am my child on camera? Why is he making videos?" So the whole mindset has to be changed, and that is taking a lot of time.
Absolutely, that was incredible. And Rihan, I have seen you like once after we met in Dubai, you had tagged me and posted, he's a friend, like you have to follow him or like you have to learn from him. From that day onwards until today, I get like so many requests from Pakistan adding me as a friend. Like I am from Rehan Allahwala's school or like program. I just want to become friend of you. And I was so curious, right? What is that 500 mutual friend request experiment or something? What do you mean by that? Because I see such a big flywheel being created. I get bombarded with so many messages every day.
Right. So, in my friend list, I have you, and then I had Steve Wozniak, I had all of the people you interview. So I've been collecting these people for over years, right? I've been collecting them since the start of Facebook. Now imagine if you grow up in in the world of Facebook, and every time you wake up, you either see about the Prime Minister of India or you see about an entrepreneur like Peter Diamandis or Wozniak talking about world problems. Hi, Wozniak, how are you doing? Or amazing people. So your mindset starts to shift. You are the sum of your best friends. So the goal with 500 mutual friend is that you make 500 new friends, like you make in a classroom. You make friends, but you're not best friends with everyone. But you end up being partner or a life partner or a friend, really good friend or best friend with a few of those people. So you might become, you get a lot of friend requests, say 20, 50 friend requests a day, but you don't request accept them because you have your own filter. I don't want to be friends with somebody who doesn't have a Facebook photo, a profile information is missing, he's not ambitious enough, he want to go and become a shoemaker. You don't want to be friends with that guy. But what if somebody said, I am the next prime minister of Pakistan, or I want to be the next prime minister of Kenya? You want that mindset, right? You want that to be
Yes.
friends with this guy. Who knows? He might become. But because of that mindset, you will be influenced that why can't I be the Indian prime minister? Why can't I say, one day I will be the prime minister? That takes courage, and our friends give us courage. So I did this as an experiment. I there's I monetized it. I said, look, if you make 500 of my friends as your friend and interview 20 of them, and now it's 50 of them, I'll give you a free laptop. So I gave away
Wow.
500 laptops, and I studied every single person. How did their mindset changes? So I found that their mindset totally changes. They grow, they scale, they think like a global citizen. Now they're less biased. They understand what does it mean to be a South Indian or a North Indian. Before everybody was Indian. They don't know what masala dosa is. Now they are actually trying to understand what is happening in the world, because before they were living in their small little bubble. And after they befriend my friends, their mindset starts to change, just like yours has changed by traveling or by connecting or by reading. Most people don't like to read anymore. So why not give them a friend list which will totally change their mindset? So in my friend list, I try to keep people who are crazy enough to change the world. And the people who are crazy enough to change the world, they are the ones who change the world. So mediocrity is not something which I am very envious of. So I want people to be large thinkers, large doers, take large actions. So even if you don't friend them, that's fine. They become your follower, and as your follower, they're going to say, "Oh, who is this guy Akshay is interviewing? Oh my God! Look at this guy. He wants to be a trillionaire. Oh, I've never even heard of the word." So once they start to see this, it's like bringing them to NAS Summit. So thousands and thousands and thousands of people have tried to attempt this, and only 500 have received a laptop, but thousands and thousands have done this. And I have been able to create a phenomenal network on Facebook. So now, for example, this video is unshareable. If it was shareable, I'm sure that a lot of people will watch it, and then a lot of people will try to be more friends with you and friends with your friends, and they are the ones who want to change their mindset. So they're already change makers. They end up creating a fantastic network, which for you or other people, it costs money. You have to travel, you have to make friends, you have to interview them, you have to do so much work. I made it all easy like a pie so that they can just go through a process and then just become phenomenal on their own just by following this process.
That's super incredible. And I see like even NAS telling in NAS Summit, like future is all about like community building. It's all about like the most important thing is staying in communities, right? What's your top three pillars or like how we can build like great communities? Because it's all like the future is all about people, right? It's not B2B, B2P. It's like people to people. What are the most important pillars it is required to create great communities? Because I see like you run multiple communities, right? How do you get so much time, and how did you set that intention or like goal for each communities? Because it's different goals for different communities, right?
So they say that good leaders create more leaders. They don't want to become leaders, right? So my interest is to make more leaders, and everybody is different. So you might like masala dosa, I might like biryani, or the other guy might like nihari or whatever. So we are all different. So it's very hard to say what 8 billion people would really want in the world. But there are certain things which we are sure of. Majority of the people will eventually have a smartphone. Majority of the people will have the access to the internet. Majority will have access to an AI. They will have access to Google, YouTube, and all that good stuff. Now, the problem is we are all coming from a culture. Oh, don't talk to strangers. Oh, this is a guy who you have to be careful. This is a Punjabi guy, or this is a Marathi guy, or this is a Haryana guy. You have to be careful of them. Without ever meeting them, we are judgmental about the people. So, in order to build a community, is first you have to learn to give. First, give, and then if you need something, the community will always give back to you. See what the closest community want. How can you connect them? How can you help them, coach them, guide them? And my rule number one is do everything publicly. So, for example, your group is not public. I would encourage you to take these content and put it in the public space. Put the entire video on YouTube, put the entire video on your Facebook page so that anybody can share it, anybody can copy it, anybody can do whatever they want to do with it. So the leaders are normally only 0.01% on the top on the list. Not
Yes.
everybody is going to become a leader, at least not now. Maybe 20 years from now they want to become, but at least not now. We are designed not they most of us want to be followers. But
Absolutely.
by giving the content to the followers, you will create more leaders. So say you and I are talking, 1,000 people will watch, and out of those 1,000 people, 10 people will watch the whole video. But what if a million people watched it and everybody watched only 1%? That means you created 10,000 copies of yourself and the person, because they're consuming only 1%, but that 1% is something which is going in their head. So I have 13,000, 12, 13,000 videos on the internet just going around. And I'm not a smart guy. I'm just a guy, and just a guy who created a lot of content. Everything I do is public. I don't take private calls anymore. I will do everything on Zoom. You want to talk to me, it has to be public. Otherwise, sorry, find another guy. Why? Because I think that everybody should think majority of the things should be shared, and there's so much information missing, especially in the regional languages, that the information reaches the the localized people, marginalized people, even furthermore delayed. So, say your grandmother does not understand English, she will not understand anything which we are talking about. She will not be excited about any of the super people you were talking to. So she won't grow. We grow with information. So the information she will get is about politics, it's about jokes, it's about the local culture. But what is happening on the planet might get to her, but in a very smaller quantity. We have to bombard our networks with more creative stuff. As our limbic system disallows positive news, we're always attracted to negative news. So we have to give 1,000 times more positive content in order to be equal to the 1% negative content. I don't know if it makes sense.
Absolutely. Right. Like we have to set the right intention and like we have to figure out what exactly they want and give it. Now, when it comes down to communities, building is one thing, right? Like leaders, like we sharing it. And how do we measure the success of the community? Because if we have thousands of people, lakhs of people into that specific group or this thing, how can we measure what exactly people want and where they are right now? Right, what is the problem they're having and what solution they're wanting to get, right? Like how can we identify that in large communities?
I think as we are becoming more and more sovereign individuals, it's no longer going to be important about the community's growth. It's individual growth which will happen. So we will need to create apps and software to analyze ourselves, to find ourselves, and then to make goals for ourselves, and then actually walking about that on that goals and seeing who in the community can help us in achieving that goal. We're living in a time where there's you Google about negative about something, you will find tons of content, and if you want positive about something, you will find a lot of content. There's a saying that if you want to reach to your goals, don't tell anybody your goals. I am opposite. I'm saying tell everybody your goals so that the community can help you reach to their goals. So depending on the school of thought which you're coming from, you might want to act in a different way. So you can't help everyone, but you can help a lot of people. And I think in the very near future, we will have software which will be able to help individuals, just like we are into a time where the education is becoming individualized. I think we tried to build an app last year where we could measure a person's value and then ask them, where do you want to reach? And then we tell them, do this, do this, do this. And I know other people also who are working on similar apps where they measure and then they help them grow 10 minutes a day, an hour a day to reach their goals. So I think it's going to become more and more individualized. I think we are entering a very interesting time. So the next 3-4 years would be extremely interesting for human race. We've never seen any time like this before. So let's see what happens. Where do we take us?
Absolutely, that was incredible. And I have seen you when I saw your documentary. Like you have like so many companies, right? Like you have taken the companies to 6, 7, 8 figures, like multiple companies, right? It is difficult for so many people just to scale one company, right? How did you implement like so many companies and so many things at a time, right? How did you create that infrastructure or the landscape?
Well, I did over 150 businesses, and as I said, I've closed majority of them because I found that it's not a good idea, even though my mentors told me don't do everything. They were like, do one thing and do a great job on it. And I agree to that. I think we should no longer do everything. But back when I was in this spree of starting businesses 20 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, there's so much gap in so many spaces. Even today, there's so much gap in so many spaces that, as an entrepreneur, I'm like, why can't we do this? And I was younger and I had more energy to do everything. So I created systems. I'm a follower of Richard Branson. I was very inspired that he has 440 businesses. How did he do that? So I constantly read him and I tried to understand him. I met him a few times. I couldn't get the answer. So I think it's all about, if you look at McDonald's, they have 35,000 odd restaurants. How did they manage to do 35,000 restaurants? I'm sure if you and I wanted to start a restaurant, it will take a few years. But if McDonald's wants to start a new restaurant, the CEO or somebody just has to send an email or WhatsApp message, hey, buddy, can you start another one in Bangalore, this area? Done. Thank you. I mean, because it's the system, it's the processes which allows you to do things. So now I have the ability to create a startup in 24 hours or less. I can have the website up and running, video up and running, how to. This is before Chat GPT. This is before AI. I mean, because we did it so many times, I was able to create systems that could help me start different things. So I have found that I'm almost 50 now, and I have found that I'm not good at running businesses, but I'm good with ideas. I'm good with mentoring. I'm good with connecting. So my next life, whatever life I have left, is focused on educating other people and creating systems where we can scale. I want to create 10,000 new multi-millionaires in Pakistan in dollar terms. And that will only happen when I have enough students going through the system. So if I want to create, say, 10,000 multi-millionaires, I have to process at least 1 million people through the system, because not everybody is aspirant of doing it. 100 years ago, people used to say not everybody can be educated. And are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. Yeah.
Okay. 100 years ago, people used to be skeptical that not everybody can go through education. And now, as you know, that everybody goes through high school. Only a few don't go through high school. And if we can help, we can help make majority of the people take advantage of the abundance time which we have.
Absolutely. And in your last so many years after you creating 150 companies, what was the impact? How many people had got employment and how much revenue like you all were able to hit in your last 30, 40 years in your entrepreneurship, like creating such great businesses?
I'm not a good maths person. I never calculated how much impact there is. And I stopped working for impact a while ago. When I started off, I was like, okay, I'm going to help 1 million people. But after a while, I just did it because I could do it. And I just do what I do because I can do it, not because how much impact is happening. I understand that it's good to calculate, it's good to know, it's good to, you know, plan. They say that if you know the numbers, you can actually achieve it. But I am a totally different guy. I don't want to calculate. I don't want to see the impact. I want to just relax and do my thing, whatever I can, and just live in the flow as much as I can, rather than how much impact did I have, what bottom line do I have. I'm very happy that I don't have investors. I just did everything with my own money, and I don't take money from anyone for the same reason that I don't want to be accountable to anyone saying that you did not do a good job or did a good job. I'm just accountable to myself. If I am happy, then that's all that matters anymore. I'm not very ambitious anymore, saying that I have to make this change, because I think that's not how the universe is supposed to work.
Absolutely, that is incredible. And can you tell us like the ideas, like if we have to start a business, right? Like I saw like on your website or like your video, 100 businesses how you can go with like less than $100, right? Because a lot of people from India, Asia, Pakistan, they want to start something, but they don't have a lot of funding. Neither they have like crores of rupees or lakhs of rupees with them, right? They have a small meager amount like $100 or $200 with them, but they have a goal to make a millions and like billions, right? Can you just tell us some of the ideas what they can go and implement so that they can create great empires?
So I spent all my savings from 2000 people start a business with $100. And when somebody asked me how many people did you help, I said zero. And the reason is that it was not the process of how to start a business which was stopping them. It was their own mindset which stops them from doing anything. So if you really have the mindset that you want to start a business, you can take a balti and, and go and wash your cars and then start making money from there, or sell bananas. In India, Pakistan, it does not take a lot of money to start a business. It's your ego, it's your mindset, it's I cannot do this, I can't do this. These are self limiting beliefs which stops us from starting business. And I failed. I did not manage to help anyone in 4 years because most people did not want it to be helped. I thought that they wanted a system. I thought they just wanted money, but I was totally wrong. I found out that it's not what stops them, it's the mindset which stops people from doing something. I started a political party 2 years ago, and the reason was that why not? I can do it. Why shouldn't I do it? So people are scared of starting something because they're scared to fail. And if you can take out the equation of failure, your parents love you when you are a year old, no matter what. You have a hand, you don't have a hand, you speak, you don't speak, you do party, you don't do party. It's unconditional love. So if we are honest with ourselves and our work, that what we're doing is for the love of what we're doing, it doesn't really matter. You can start a business. Just like I see you, again, I keep telling this to you because you have the most fantastic mindset I can see. And I have what, 14 million people on my Facebook. There's only one Akshay I can see. And then the other guy, the RJ guy, who is ambitious enough in the whole country. Anybody can do what you're doing. It's not rocket science. It's just stubbornness and commitment to your own goals, and you can achieve it. And that's what's missing. Majority of us don't have this mindset. And if we do, if so, that's what I work on. I keep on creating mindsets. I don't think that you require millions and billions of dollars to create a business. I don't. Those who do, it's great. It works for them. It doesn't work for me. I have never created a business with money. If you give me $1 million and say start a business, I would keep the $1 million aside and still start a business without using that $1 million, because I don't really know what to do with $1 million. I just
Hmm.
need very, very basic stuff to start a business.
Absolutely. It's like the intention and having that right mindset about going and solving a problem. That's the most important thing. That's absolutely awesome. And coming down to effective decisions, right? How do we take effective decisions? How do we go in the right direction? Because if we go in the wrong direction, we fall, and like there is a pitfall also, right? Because even Tony Robbins tells that the quality of your decisions determines the quality of income what you make, right? And that's what I'm so
You're
curious.
asking the wrong, you're asking the wrong person who has made a lot of wrong decisions. And I follow Edison, who says that innovation is about 99% of perspiration and 1% innovation. So ideas and all this is for our part of the world is dime a dozen. Especially after ChatGPT, you have ideas, you have execution, you have everything. 90% accuracy is in front of our hands now, right? But we don't take any actions. And if you don't take any actions, you wouldn't make mistakes. And if you don't make mistake, how would you learn? So make a lot of mistakes, get resilience, and then just keep on doing it instead of thinking, and enjoy it so that you can make mistakes. If you don't enjoy what you do, how would you make mistake?
Absolutely. And what do you mean by that chart GTP or something, the word which you used, right? What is that basically?
So chat gpt is a new AI from open AI, which you can, that's like Google, but
Hmm.
you don't Google it. It has a brain which you can ask questions. You can say, my name is Akshay and I run the Real Knowledge Club, and this is what I want to achieve. Please give me a strategy. And 10 seconds later, you have a whole strategy of growth in front of you. You can say, I'm Akshay, I'm from South India. write me a song in Tamil language about my girlfriend or myself. It will give you a song in 10 seconds. So having this kind of brain power to your phone, to everyone in the world, is something which is incredible. You don't have to research, you don't have to read a book, you don't have to go to a consultant. You can say, just today I was asking someone that please use ChatGPT to send a promotion letter, and 3 letters, and it's just incredible. You have to experience it. Just spend a couple of hours. It's a new platform. I was not aware. You have not tried it. Definitely try it. You can do whatever on earth you want to achieve from it. How do you go to the moon? How do you go to Mars? Anything you can think of, it has an answer for it.
Absolutely, that's super incredible. I'm going to check it out right now today itself. And how do we basically network with like smart people? Like you were telling, you had met like Richard Branson, right? Couple of days back, I saw you hanging around with the top billionaires in like Pakistan, like where you're interviewing. You have met like the prime ministers of your country, everything, right? How do we network with this top level influential people, right? How do we get to them? Because a lot of people don't get to them, right? What is the strategies or technique which you will recommend?
So I can only tell what I know. First, you can
Yes.
download my book about it. It's called Add Me. You can buy it on Amazon. You can download it for free from rehan.com. It's all about networking and how I did it. You stop worrying about the big guys. You have to start meeting everyone. You cannot be laser focused that I'm not going to meet you because you're a nobody. You meet someone. When I'm sitting in a taxi, I end of 15 minutes, I will know everything about them. I will have their number. If I am in a, I'll tell you an example. I went to Qatar. I went to a Sri Lankan restaurant. I've never been to a Sri
Okay.
Lankan restaurant at that time. I just went there and I just had a tea. And they said, I said, what is unique about Sri Lankan food? He said, kuttu. I said, okay, I'll have a kuttu. So I had a kuttu. Then I gave him a business card of mine. I said, well, add me on Facebook. So 12 years later, I was in Dubai and I got a WhatsApp message. The guy said, you probably don't remember me, but you came to my shop and you gave me a business card. I just Googled you and I YouTubed you and I saw your videos, very interesting. Now I have 10 or 15 people working for me in Sri Lanka. I have a textile factory. Thank you so much. I mean,
Wow.
so, that's like weird, right? Then I was sitting in a taxi and I started talking. Then I gave him a business card. So 3, 4 days later, I got a phone call from someone. He said, well, I found your business card from a taxi and I was looking for you for 2, 3 years. Thank you. I finally got your number because of him. And can we meet? So I ended up meeting him. So you never know who will connect you to whom. So I was sitting in Dubai again at my father's home, and I was running another version of Rehan School. And my father just mentioned, when are you meeting the president, for telling him about this? I said, I didn't think about it. I just went on Facebook and I wrote, I want to meet President Musharraf. Can somebody connect me? 3 days later, I was with President Musharraf. Somebody connected me from Kenya to a guy in Dubai. I had a meal with him. Then he vetted me, like, why do you want to meet him? I told him, this is my project. I want to connect with him. He took me there. He took photos. We introduced each other. Then another friend from India was visiting me in Dubai, and I said, well, while you are in Dubai, who would you like to meet? He said, how about President Musharraf? I said, okay. I had his number saved. Out of the blue, I just called him. He did not remember me, most probably. He picked up the phone. We talked, and he got in an appointment, and I went and met him. So, and then when I go and meet someone while I'm waiting, I would connect with everyone there. So I would know the driver, the waiter, the everyone. And it's not necessarily that this was President Musharraf's. I connect with everyone. I have my business cards. I do this less now because I get tired, but I have the most funniest business cards you would ever see. I had a business card. I was in the US. I was very shy. I'm still very shy. And people in the US would say, what's your story? So I actually printed a business card, like a big postcard, and said, um, this is hello, my name is Rehan. I'm from Pakistan. I want to connect to 1 million people, and blah, blah. And on the backside, I had my small story. So I didn't have to tell anybody my story. And I was standing at Times Square giving out my business cards. I hired somebody for an hour just give out my business card tickets. I just wanted to connect with anyone in New York City because I just love New York City. So I just wanted to connect with everyone. Nobody connected with me, but I still kept trying. A lot. I mean, I gave out maybe 100,000 business cards like this, but majority of the people don't connect. And that's what I was telling you earlier. Majority of the people are shy. You have to reach out to them. You have to ask them, what can I do for you? Instead of waiting for them to come to you. And you do that, Akshay. You go out and reach out to people. You're not shy about it. You probably conquered yourself, and others are unable to conquer themselves. So I go out. If somebody criticizes me on social media, if somebody is looking for help, I inbox them. I tell them, hi, my name is Rehan. How can I help you? What is your introduction? And I have so many people who got empowered just by saying hello. That's it's everything starts with a hello and how are you? What can I do for you? And slowly, people, my network grew. Now, if I want to meet anyone in Pakistan, it's no longer a problem. I mean, Pakistan, for me, it's no longer a problem to meet anyone and everyone. It's just easy. Um, the influencers who are now big influencers in Pakistan call me their teacher. So now it's easy for me to reach out to anyone. Um, but it takes time. It took me 15 years to get this in Pakistan. I want to do this in the US, in other parts of the world. I would love to, but I'm tired of this. I no longer can like to connect. I was doing videos like this 15 years ago, like you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Nobody was watching my videos. Nobody was watching anything. I kept doing and I kept doing and I kept doing and I kept doing. I was doing it for myself because this is an opportunity for you. So if you're hearing me right, then it's good for you. And I wanted to connect with you because I know for sure you will be hard to reach. You'll be like Tony Robbins. I don't want to talk to Rehan.
Something like that, yes. And I'm so inspired, right? And what drives you like so much energy and like confidence? Because a lot of people are not confident and they fear something or like they do something, right? Like how do we get this 100% more clarity about what we have to do and get that confidence and energy, right? How you are able to get so much energy? Because I saw you even in last summit, right? You were meeting everyone, making the video, shaking the hands, right? I have not seen so many people like you who were meeting almost everyone in the event there, right? I was so inspired by that.
Well, I was there for a goal, right? I was there to connect with as many people as I could. And my style, the way I connect is I don't do long conversations. I do small conversations. And I, as I said, I have a business card which tells my story. So that saves me another 15 seconds. And I go and hit on someone in that time. And then I hear their story just like you do. And then I take a selfie, take their number, send it to them. You're connected. Then you later on you come back, you Facebook them, you send them your Facebook Messenger message that this is really how we connected. Do the same on LinkedIn. Now you're connected. Confidence come with experience. Practice. Everything comes with practice. So keep on doing. I couldn't talk to anyone. I was the most shyest person I know. I had to practice a lot. This person which you're seeing is not the same person 15 years ago, 7 years ago, 25 years ago. I had to work very hard on on coming out of my own fear. And it takes a lot of practice. So everything requires practice. Um, just keep on doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. Just keep on doing more. because when you do more, it becomes a habit. The way to success, in my opinion, is not by thinking, it's by habit. So I can bet on you, if you and I went on a competition of taking selfies or making introductions, I would win because I have done it 10,000 times more than you have, or maybe 10,000 hours more than you have, because it's just comes to me naturally. I spend 14, 15, 16 hours. Every single person, I have 14 million people on my Facebook. Every single person gets a reply. Why I do it? Because I've been doing it for 25 years. How can I could just, it's like a dance for me. It's like driving a car or motorcycle. Make it into a habit. So anything which you want to achieve, you make it into a habit. Once you have it, just like you say, oh, it's amazing. Even if you're not thinking, oh, that's fantastic, it's just coming out, right? It's an habitual thing. So once you do something many, many times, it becomes as a habit. And once you do it as a habit, you no longer, there's energy does not require, it's no longer required there. So
Yes.
I would say you're wrong about my energy. I get very tired very quickly. So I was coming to NAS Summit maybe in the afternoon, only for 3 hours. And I was very focused. I knew exactly what I'm here to do, and just get it done and get out. That's it. I was there like a delivery boy. Just do my thing, connect to as many people as I could, especially the people who mattered, and then leave. There are certain people I've met in conference. They say in 4 days I want to meet only four or five people. I'm one of those people. I'm becoming that person also. I don't want to connect with everyone anymore. I want to connect with very specific people. What you're doing now, I want to do now. But 25 years ago, I had to do what I did because I was very shy. Even so, today, if I meet, say, President Modi or Prime Minister Modi, I would have no fear whatsoever to talk to him. I could be his chadda friend, what's like a school friend, and I would have no fear whatsoever. I have fear for my dad. I couldn't be his friend, but because with random people, I have done it so many times, so many presidents, so many prime ministers. I mean, I've done that and over that. So it's no longer the fear is gone. And it just comes when you do it many, many times. I think I need to improve even more, uh, which is keep practicing. And you practice with everyone. You don't practice with only with selected people. You do it with everyone, then it becomes a habit, and then you can just do it naturally.
Absolutely. As always, they tell, right? Like practice makes man perfect. And once we get that belief, like we'll be able to do it. And that's what I also got. Like once I was able to interview the billionaire Naveen Chase, who wrote this book, Moonshot, been forwarded by Richard Branson. Now I had that belief of like interviewing almost any other billionaire. Few days back, I had messaged Ray Dalio, Peter Davidson. A lot of people still have not got the reply, but I'm persisting. I'm sending them everywhere, right? So that I can get that small sneak bite about like the knowledge, and I can share with others, and it can cut short the learning curve for me also, and even for our audience also, right?
Naveen Bhai is very easy to going person. Naveen Bhai is one of the humblest billionaires you would meet. He's just very, very down to earth. He's not normal billionaire. Most
Yes,
billionaires get a lot of hustle, so they stay away from people. That's why they want to stay away. People who are famous, they don't want to be around people anymore because like they're getting overdosed. Just like I was telling about myself. I cannot go to any restaurant or any places in public anymore in Pakistan. It's like I
yes,
get people are all over me. It's very hard for me to do that. So I don't give time to anyone anymore. I don't give interviews anymore. It's very difficult because I've done it so many times. It's done, right? So, but
yes,
you're not from Pakistan. So I want to
correct.
connect with more people who are outside Pakistan. I will be happy to connect with them. But within Pakistan, in Urdu language and Hindi, I have so much content that it's just insane. Nobody has that much content in Pakistan. I mean, maybe they have some, political content or stuff, bad stuff, but the kind of content I create, this it's not there. So I went to see Naveen Bhai. I messaged him. I took my whole
Great,
family. I went there
great.
and I was expecting in his office that somebody would give coffee. It was early 9 a.m. And I said, Naveen, bhai, can I have a coffee? He said, okay, let's go. So we went, all of us. He took um, there, he didn't have an assistant to get us coffee. We went down with on the lift. We went to a Starbucks in this building. He stood in line. I stood in line. I was like, what's going on? Is he for real? And we were all standing in a line, and he paid for our coffee. Then we took it back, and we were waiting, and then he came back and continued the meeting. I was like, is this for real? Is this guy really wanting to be a trillionaire? So why is he wasting his time on buying coffee? But I think that humbleness helps you. You have to force yourself sometimes to stay normal. You have to stay, just like you might have seen this photo of Bill Gates standing in the line for a burger in Seattle. I don't know if you've seen it, but it
Mm,
allows you to stay a human being. You're not, everybody's a human being, right? We all have similar issues. So when you reach somewhere, don't become crazy and stay as humble as you can. And Naveen Bhai is the best in when it comes to humbleness. He's just an outstanding man.
absolutely. And you met Naveen in like USA or in Dubai or like in
So
India?
first time I met, I saw an ad. So back 12 years ago, there was nobody on Facebook advertising themselves. Only companies would advertise themselves. I was the only one who probably spent a few $100,000 on advertising my page on Facebook. So I was one day watching this guy, Naveen Jain. Who's this guy, Naveen Jain? His page is being advertised. And then I inboxed him. I said, well, these are the flaws in your advertising. You might want to fix it. And I just forgot about it. I said, oh, that's great. Some other guy is competing with me and, making himself branded. So then I was in a conference in San Francisco, and that's where I saw him first time. I forgot about him. I did not know who he was. And then I liked his talk. I did not know who he was. I just, he was the only other Desi speaker. I was like, okay, cool. I'm hanging out with this Desi guy. I have no clue who he is, and I was just hanging out. And then the organizer introduced me, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I just saved his number and I told him I'll be in Seattle. He said, definitely come and see me. I said, okay, give me your number. I took his number, and when I went, I texted him, and he invited over. Now he doesn't respond anymore. I don't know what I did, but he's still in my friend list, and I'm sure he's bombarded by all the Pakistanis also on Facebook. And but a lot of people probably I'm happy for him because his he taught me. I mean, his moonshot is great, but the other Viome which he has, the company, it excited me.
Microwave.
I studied it for 4 months. I really think it's a phenomenal thing. If you could just cure somebody by the poop, that's the best thing there can be. It's fantastic what he's doing.
Absolutely. Even like last week, there was a webinar. I was a call with him, and he shared about how to set that moonshot goals, how to attract the right talent. And I had also taken the spin up last year itself. I think you can see this. Right? Dream so big, people think I'm crazy. I'll never be afraid to fail. I will never think anything is impossible to me because it becomes impossible for me. I will have the mindset of abundance, never think of scarcity. Right talent will be attracted by your obsession and inspiration. These were the five uh, takeaways I had written, right? That was absolutely awesome, right? Having the great mentors helps to connect with people, with other people, right? And yes, and coming down to this question, like a lot of people from India and Pakistan, if they have to reach out to people from international, right? How do we create the trust? Because third countries and versus tier one countries, some people they don't accept the request, or like we are not able to talk to them, sell them, maybe the language barrier, accent, tonality, communication, right? How do we create that trust fast? Because you are into this industry since so many years.
I personally think it's no longer a problem because top 10 CEOs in the US for all tech companies are now Indian, so it's no longer a problem. When I started my company, I started in '97, And I did not call myself the founder or the CEO. I was like a director of business development. I did not. I had a American white female friend who was the founder and CEO, because I didn't. I was not. I didn't believe in myself enough. So it's your own belief that will stop you. Number one. Number two, names matter a lot. Keep simple names. Keep an American name. Keep an English name. You will never see a Chinese person say, "My name is Xing." It's just they always have a Peter or a Jane or a June or a May or a July or something, right? So it's easier to remember, not because it's just different, right? For example, I cannot pronounce your last name, Rajesh Karan.
Yes. Yes.
Rajesha Karan, because I've never heard of it in my life. So
Yes.
if you call yourself, instead of Akshay, you can say my name's Aksh or Ash. It'll just make it easier, and just get rid of your last name and rename yourself to a easier name. It just makes it easier. We're not Zuckerbergs. Not everybody will end up remembering, our names. Like Zuckerberg. What? How do you spell it? Um, so it's an easy way to start off with. I call myself Ray when I meet a white person, because Rehan is never something which they've heard before. They have not watched an Indian movie with the name Rehan in it. So it's just easier. Make life easier for everyone. It doesn't matter. Name only is matter to someone.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
it's not really that important. We are so obsessed with our names. And once they're actually friends with you, they will remember your name. But initially, that doesn't really matter. Huh? Initially, you can be number one or number two or number four. It doesn't matter. It's just how to you get someone. What matters is your politeness. And as your quotation with Naveen Bhai says, your passion is going to speak louder than anything else. You're getting fantastic people on your show, and that is what matters. And eventually, everybody will want to be on your show. If they say no, that's fine. Do another 20 interviews and then ask them again, and keep doing your work. Eventually, they will come to you. I can guarantee you that. But don't stop. Just keep on doing, keep on doing, keep on doing. There's only one guy I know of India who's doing this. So come on, just don't stop. And just you will become phenomenal, and then they will want
Thank
to
you
be
so
on your
much.
show.
Yes, that's amazing. And now, are you ready for like rapid round? Like quickly, I'll ask you one questions, and like within 1 or 2 minutes, like you answer it. Awesome.
Go.
How? The first question is, what is the top 3 or 5 books like you recommend all the people who are watching this Real Knowledge Club Summit?
Think and Grow Rich, Seven Habits of Highly Successful People, Add Me, my book. Um, if you are in education, there is another book by Napoleon Hill called Outwitting the Devil, and another book called The Power of Now and Lynchpin.
Absolutely, that's awesome. And what will be the 3 piece of advice like you want to give to yourself again if you're like 20 years old?
I don't know. I think I will let it be the way it was. Let it be the way it was. But today's advice is that you need to speak more, you need to connect more people, you need to be able to be public as much as you can, get over your fear. It was always important. But now being a brainiac is no longer important, because artificial intelligence will take over our brains. So we need to be more social. Unfortunately, we're not. We are scared of human beings. Yeah? Remember, $2,000 billion a year protecting one human being from another human being. How stupid is that?
Yes. Yeah, we live in a complete different world, right? And what is the legacy like you want to give to the world like before you die? What is that like you want to be remembered for?
I don't know. If I could tear down the borders, that would be great. If I could tear down all the languages, that would be great. Just one language, no borders. We could all live like human beings for once on this planet, if we could. I don't work for it. I mean, I work for it, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen in my lifetime. But that's something I would really want to happen.
Absolutely. And does a life partner play an important role in your business or like in your career or in your life?
Definitely. If your life partner is good, or any partner is good, or have a good understanding, it helps a lot. Even if it is bad, it helps a lot, because then you end up learning something, right?
Absolutely. Somebody who can support us, who can guide us, who can tell us. And how can we create strategic partnership in between like India and Pakistan, right? How do we collaborate and work? Because life is all about like collaboration instead of competition.
I think India Pakistan is something very difficult to achieve. It's stupid to even try that right now. It will eventually happen as a byproduct. I think what you're doing is fantastic. Keep on doing more. If a Pakistani comes to your mind, interview them, connect with them, but don't
Yes.
spend your time on India Pakistan. One, I mean, there should be one, at least one guy in India, or at least one Pakistan crazy enough to say, you know what, this is all I'm going to do. We have so many people and we are not focused. If there was one crazy Rehan who would do nothing but to say, I'm going to only talk to Indians, or another, I'm going to only talk to Pakistanis. Literally, that would solve the problems. Literally, I can guarantee that. I used to work on this for a long time, and now I have realized that it's happening because we are just economically poor, and we have a lot of problems. So right now the best thing we can do is build our own countries, and eventually it will just make economic sense for both parties to connect. It's stupidity which is stopping us. You can't really fight stupidity overnight. It's a long journey. So I think India is developing very rapidly, Pakistan is developing very rapidly, and this will just happen naturally. If you could connect to more people, if you could interview more people, that's the best thing you can do. I can introduce you to anyone you want. You
Yes.
can interview them, and
Sure.
but the fun part would be if it is in Hindi. But still, if you want to do it in English, that's fine, because majority will not understand when you do it in English. You see, there's so much content in English already that creating more English content, which is wisdom, is, I don't see it as any add on to anything, but it is
Yes.
lacking in regional languages. So if you were to do it in your own language or in Hindi or other language, it will make more sense for the people who you want to help. Because the people you want to help, they don't speak this language. And if they did, this is already so much content out there. They don't need us, they don't need you, they don't need me for that content.
Absolutely. Well, that's amazing because what I was thinking was English is being a global language everybody in the world can understand. Hindi, like only few countries can understand, right? That was the belief which I had. Of course, like I will be happy, super happy to interview some really good people from Pakistan. Also, what values, principles they inherit, or like how they went about, so that others also will be inspired and take action.
You can take an interview in your mother tongue with Naveen Bhai. Naveen Bhai is also from South India. I don't know if he can, if he's the same
He's from Uttar
Malayalam or,
Pradesh. He's
or
from Uttar Pradesh.
but
Yeah,
I
I
thought
think
he was
Hindi.
from South India.
I think he's from Hindi, Jain, Naveen Jain, right? I think he speaks Hindi.
Check it out
Yes.
because his Hindi
Yeah,
is
I
not
have to
so
ask
good.
him.
So I think he has another language.
I have to find out. I would ask him what's his language. But yeah, that's super amazing. And Rihan, brother, like, where can everyone find you if they have to learn more about what you do, like your school, and if they want to reach out to you? Are you available on Facebook, Instagram, website, YouTube? Can you just tell us?
Everywhere. My website is rehan.com. Facebook is the best place. Private Facebook account with a blue sign. Just inbox me any questions you have. I do it personally. Um, Mostly I'm on Facebook. I mean, I'm on everywhere, but I check Twitter once a year, once a month, maybe. Not much. My content is everywhere, but if you want to find me one on one, just to get on Facebook and inbox me.
Absolutely. That was super, super amazing. Thank you so much for sharing like your super valuable wisdom with us and all these great things, right? Any last words before we conclude? Like you want to tell us like some any important things like you can tell us.
I think this is probably your last interview and my last interview for the year 2022. I think after Corona, the world has changed a lot. And as I said, after ChatGPT, the world is going to change a lot. And the one of the best thing I've heard this year, I think, is from Salman Khan of Khan Academy, is that in 20 years, the possibilities for every single human being fully um, um, what's the word? He would be able to use his full potential, because the knowledge will come and find you instead of you going and finding knowledge or information. So the world is about to change because of AI, and it's also a very scary time for humanity because it depends on how we take decisions. If AI is our child and based on our given information, it is learning the stupidity of humanity is that we end up spending $2,000 billion in trying to protect ourselves from our own ideology. Basically, it's our ideology, nothing else. That you think like this, I say banana, you say banana, you say orange, I say orange. It's just that. There's no other difference. And we're trying to protect ourselves from these ideologies. It's the most stupidest thing human race can do. And what you're doing, Akshay, is connecting people from around the world, bringing them together. I think I would request you to start an institute or a master class for teaching people how to do this in multiple languages in India, because more and more people need this so that they can break their bubble. You have broken your bubble, but others have not. And if you
Absolutely.
don't help them break their bubble, they will stay mediocre. They will not end up talking to people. They will think, how can I talk to Naveen Jain? He's so big guy. He's a bad guy. He has so much money. He's such my car. So all these perceptions will change once you actually start to communicate with people. So I would say
Absolutely.
start a small class, 10 people, 20 people, coach them how to start their own podcast, how to start their own show, um, help them make a goal, healthy goal, and achieve it.
Absolutely. That's what like we are doing here at like a Real Knowledge Club, where we are showing them how they can start the consulting, creating their own masterminds, creating that communities, more leaders, right? More leaders create
Do
more
it in
leaders.
do it in more your language because you have
Yes,
masterful command on it, and there are not many people doing in your own language. So
absolutely.
start small, think big, start small, do small things, because if this particular interview was in your own language, more people will watch it because they don't have any
Right.
content to watch. There is a language called Pashtun. Pakistan has 330 languages, India has 1100 languages. In Pashtun language, Pashto, there is this guy who is speaking in just speaking and in Pashto language. And every time I see it, he has like 2,000 people watching, 1,500 people watching. I'm like, what is this? The problem is they don't have any content to watch. They have, content in other languages, and it doesn't feel the same for them, you know.
It's
So
a
if you
micro
create,
niche.
yeah, it's a micro niche, and you will become extremely famous very quickly. And then that network will help you glide up. As you said, you said, I am the king of social media in Pakistan. You can become the king of social media in the Bangalore area or whatever area. But then
Yes,
once you have your own kingdom, kings want to talk to more kings. They don't want to talk to anybody. So become king
absolutely.
of your own
Yeah.
empire.
Absolutely. Right. I'll be like super happy to interview some great people from Pakistan. You can just recommend some top executives.
Start
Like,
small. Start
yeah.
with 20, 30 nobodies, because
Okay.
then you will have, you don't have to
Yeah, I've interviewed
Google.
RJ. RJ from Pakistan.
Interview
RJ Ahmed.
RJ, but he's already a great guy. But
Yes,
you can start
it's my friend.
nobody's, because that will allow you to improve your Hindi, your connection, your nuances, your cultural understanding. And then when you reach a big guy, that big guy will be very happy to talk to you because you actually understand his country. Until and unless you talk to 30, 40 people from Pakistan, you will not really understand what Pakistan is all about. What you see on television is not the Pakistan that is for real. It's a different world.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And that's super amazing, Rihan, like for sharing like your super valuable time and this thing. And do you have any key inspiration to your success? Do you want to name any of your mentors or like your people who contributed to your success? Hmm.
Too many to count, but I would start with my parents, my partners, my wife, my children, my people who work with me. They're the best. Without them, I would have no wings whatsoever. They give me wings. my mentor Suzanne Bowen, she totally changed me. So many people in my life came and totally changed me, pivoted me, and it's hard to name a few. I think I was inspired mostly online by Richard Branson, and I had an opportunity to meet Elon Musk. I was like, who is this guy? I don't want to meet him. But I think we're in a very interesting time, and we all must take full advantage of this beautiful time we live in with the power of the internet, and become what we must become to to fully utilize you to use our full potential to the fullest.
Absolutely. That's super, super amazing. Thank you so much once again, Rehan, for sharing like your super valuable wisdom, so many insight. Like all the people who are watching this Real Knowledge Club Summit would have got so many strategies, and now it's time for them to go and implement, right? And I want to wish everyone and Rehan to you also a very happy New Year 2023. Have great health, wealth, love, and happiness. And you want to tell something about this New Year?
Go out and conquer the world, man. It's the easiest, the best time, it's the best year ever you will have. This is the world is changing. Whenever there's a new technology, the world changes. And when the world is changing, like Corona came, a lot of people collapsed and a lot of people were made. So if you take advantage of this post AI era, you will become very wealthy, you will become very successful. If you don't, you will remain mediocre or the way it is. The countries don't make people, people make the country.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rian, for sharing all the valuable wisdom. Indeed, it was a great honor to have you at like Real Knowledge Club. And thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye. See you.